Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Ruin here, back with another Palworld video, and today I'll be going over the best cake farm and breeding base. Now, cakes are very important as you need them for breeding, and breeding is important because you need to get good passives, moves, IVs from here to go out on the end game content, mainly just a higher tier like the new Feybreak content. Now, if you want to know how to make like the outer part of the base, like the foundations, walls, everything, then I will have a link to a building tutorial that I use for all of my different bases. It is just like this, but we will be going over the interior part in this video. Now, I do use up to 50 pals for my bases, but I do not always use 50 pals. Sometimes it's because of game performance, sometimes I just don't need it. You can go base 15. It may mean you're just focusing on different areas, or you're doing all the areas at once, just less pals doing it, so it's quote unquote less efficient. But before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Palworld content. And for the base location where I put my pal box is at 189 -38. Now the actual location does not matter. I just put it in a unraidable area and then just have it like that. So there's plenty of unraidable areas you can put it. It does not matter at all where you are. So we have the first layer here just empty. I kind of do this just because when I spawn in, I want pals to not be like blocked off or anything. I'm no expert in pal pathing, and the pathing is just really messed up right now, and I don't want to completely overhaul my base to try some more testing stuff that might work, because it'd be so much work, and it's like kind of at the end of me playing everything in the update, or personally for me, so I don't want to like burn myself out doing that. And then when the next update comes out, I can redo all my bases and try and get more optimized with pathing, but this still does work. They don't abandon tasks while they're working. It's just when you load in, sometimes they'll abandon tasks. But you can put down hot springs and pal pods down here if you want, because of when I go up here, I have the pal pods, but I want to try experimenting more with putting them one out, because sometimes when pals are done with the pal pod, they spawn right out, and sometimes they can spawn out here. I found they're just chilling outside, and I think it's from this. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna mess more with that. I've been messing with that with my main base. So you could just throw some extra down there, because if we go out like this, we cannot fit 50 pal pods. Now, if you don't have 50 at the max, doesn't matter. Do down there whatever you want. But for up here, right now, we just have them close together like this. And it just goes all the way down. And then we have the hot springs in this inner ring, as many as you can. And I do it about 2 like floors apart, just to give good amount of space to pals. It's not perfect right now, but no one ever gets sick or anything. And then in this corner, we just have some of our utility stuff, like all the stat boosts right here. And then we have electricity right here, our medicine cabinet just in case, and then our monitoring stand. Then on the third level is where all the magic happens with production. We are able to fit everything on here. Now I put the food boxes, I have 2 of them in the middle. 2 of them just gives extra space, just so when everything around it can fit, and there's no like trying to move around stuff to get to these food boxes. So we'll just start here and go all the way around. First off, I have 4 mills here. Just at least 1 mill is needed for turning your wheat into flour. And so we have the wheat production right here, right next to it. I have 20 of these plantations here just to get as much as possible, but just put as many as you need. And then right here, I have all of the furnaces here. Now, multiple pals can go in multiple furnaces, or in one furnace, but I just like to have multiple so I can just set them up, and then they'll work on one, then go to another, and then go to the other, and then the other. just so I don't have to sit there watching those pals go and then go back. So just having it's nice, and we have the space. And then I have the berry plantations. Berries seem to like be gathered a lot faster than wheat, so I don't have a lot less here. If you end up having way too many berries, then you could like remove these for the time being, maybe just put them in a chest aside, and then just put them back when you need the berries. But right now I don't need like the wheat or the berries, so I just don't have planting pals out, which you can do as well. And then we have the ranches. I have 4 ranches here. We've got stuff for milk, eggs, and honey here. You could do berries here, but it is way slower than the plantations, unfortunately, so we don't worry about that. And then the 3rd and 4th floor is for breeding, just because we don't need anything down here. You could make this whole base just about eggs, but you don't need to, and a lot of times it's overkill. So I have these breeding areas up here. You could add like a different kind of base up here, but if you're having a cakes for breeding, may as well have it all together right here. So I just have them set up like this, 3 on both levels, as it just looks nice, but you can min-max it however you want. And then I only have 1 egg incubator here because I have my pal timer or the egg timer set to 0. So whatever you need, you can throw multiple all around wherever you want. The middle is plenty open. You could also have a pallet disassembly line if you want to have those types of pal farms here with the breeding. And then I just have a condenser right here just because the next level is the exact same. And then up here, I just have some viewing cages where I can throw pals in. For this video, I just don't have them in right now because I've been messing with some stuff, but I would throw them all in here. You see, I have the Caprites I was messing with. So when you're not using them, you can just throw them in here so you don't have to worry about them later on, like in your pal box, so it doesn't take as much space there. That's what I love about viewing cages so much, but sometimes having too many does make your world lag a lot. You could put them down at the bottom. It's just weird with placement with this base that it doesn't let me after the base is made. You'd have to like remove the roofs in the area, and I don't feel like doing that. All right, now for the pals, I'm just going to be going over what pals you want to use and not how many to put in, because that could depend on how many how good your pals are with the passives, as work speed is really good, and the IVs and everything, or not the IVs, but like the work speed passives and the pal souls, as well as the level tier. So that'll just depend on what you're doing, and you will need to experiment yourself and figure that out. First off, we're going to have planting stuff. So first off, we have Lylene, which has the level 5 planting. And then we have Frostallion Noct with level 5 gathering. And then we have Phalaris Aqua with level 5 watering. And you don't have to worry about Jormuntide being so big with compared to this guy. You also notice I don't have any pals depending on what could be with the new books that were added. Because they're so rare, I don't want to balance and make my bases around that. If they become more common, then that'll change base pals a lot, especially mainly for endgame. But that will be something that's different. But for now, I'm not worried about that because that's so much extra work. And then with Phalaris Aqua, you'll also be using this with the mills, so having at least like 1 extra Phalaris Aqua is going to be really nice. Then we have Frostallion Noct for cooling, Orzerk for electricity, Blazema Ryu for kindling. Then for the ranches for ingredients, we have Vigard for the honey, Matsurita for the milk, and Chickpea for the eggs. Now I did notice that I needed honey a lot less than milk and eggs, so I would only have like maybe 1 or 2 B-guards here compared to a lot more of these 2 guys. And then for transporting, you're going to want a couple of these. You're going to want the Noclums to transport everything to your PAL box, or not your PAL box, to the ice box. And then we have Lulu. This is for increasing the growth rate of the crops. We have Prunelia to increase the amount of crops we get when we harvest. And then we have Shroomer Noct to decrease the rate at which sanity is decreased. Now, with the works passive, you're mainly going to go work speed stuff like remarkable craftsmanship, artisan, work slave, and serious, and then either nocturnal or vampiric for the non-dark type pals. But for stuff like Noclum, you're going to want that nocturnal passive, but then movement speed so that your pal can move faster to get from place to place. And then for these 3 pals, you basically are just going for quality of life stuff because work speed does not affect their partner skill. But that is it for this video. If I missed something, make sure to comment down below. Any suggestions, comment as well. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Palworld content, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.